Hello, welcome to IDD Talks. Thank you so much for being with us today. And let me start with a question about changes in the global world. Multilateral world, that's a term being used by many policymakers. What does it mean for today's reality?
Well, it means that there's a protection for smaller countries because multilateralism, what it does, it provides a platform through which all of us can speak, get to understand each other. But importantly, that's where the global policies are set. Now, if you destroy multilateralism, the weaker countries are also going to be vulnerable because at least in multilateralism, for example, what depicts the real multilateral system is the United Nations, right? And that's where you have United Nations General Assembly, United Nations Security Council. So in the absence of multilateralism, it's all countries for themselves.
What do you think is a key success for Azerbaijan to be a small country, but now playing such an important role in between of East and West, North and South?
I think Azerbaijan has got no baggage historically. Never oppressed people, it did not as a colonizer, but because of its wealth, is now playing an important role, firstly by being member of the or leader of the non-aligned movement. This year is chairing COP29 for the whole year. So you can see that Azerbaijan is taking a much more serious role. In Africa, it's playing a role in terms of whether it's COVID vaccine, socio-economic and educational projects, inviting African students to come and train in Azerbaijan. So that human contribution has placed it in a different pedestal in terms of geopolitics.
There are many countries in the African continent, but it seems that Azerbaijan is trying to build their relations in every single country depending on the needs, especially also fighting against the neocolonialism in the 21st century. Therefore, how the perception about Azerbaijan has been changed in the African continent from your own experience, let's say, from your own understanding of the situation, how it helped for the future development?
I think it's changing very slowly, but it's changing. The interesting thing, of course, is that Africans now refer to Azerbaijan as a rich country. So it's a rich brother coming to Africa.
Because of energy sources or?
Of course, at the moment, it's humanitarian involvement, right? Azerbaijan in Africa is about giving, helping. But we heard what the president said today, that it's going to change into a more diplomatic engagement, political engagement, and business. So it will shift from being a humanitarian country in Africa, which is nothing wrong with it, into more of a player in terms of politics, business, and diplomacy, which is something I think that most African countries are going to work with.
Yes, indeed. But Europe itself is willing to keep its position in Africa, and the countries like France or Belgium, they're still willing to be present on the continent. How do you see the current geopolitical changes also affect the role European countries may play on the African continent?
Yeah, but these countries have got baggage. They were colonizers. They were.
They're saying we're no more colonizers.
Yeah, they don't. Nobody. Yeah, but nobody really trusts them, right? If you look at the Central African countries, Burkina Faso and others, they've kicked out French troops, and they've. Yesterday we heard about how other ambassadors have been kicked out. In Rwanda, you had the Belgian ambassadors that were kicked out. So Azerbaijan comes with a clean slate. It's a country that's has never been involved in historical problems in Africa. And that, I think, for me, is a big opportunity because new country coming in to help. So geopolitically, you might see Azerbaijan growing very strong in terms of its diplomatic relations with African countries.
And one more question. Sorry. Security is a big concern for many African states. And if not European countries, if not the United States, then where do you see the countries should concentrate on more? Do you think that it's more important for African countries to work together to avoid any intervention? What are the key to guarantee the security for the future?
Opportunities, education, social projects, employment, economic development. That will take people away because at the moment, war pays, right? If you're a member of any militia, you get a uniform, you get a salary, you get food. Now, to take that out of the equation, empower the young people, educate them, give them job opportunities, improve their lives, then you are likely to have less wars.
Then you need money for that.
You need money for that. And this is why countries such as Azerbaijan, I think, are going to play a role because what the president is saying is that you're going to bring, for example, there's this loans that are going to be made available to African countries for business people who want to come and access loans in this country. So the attitude is very important, that one of not being continual humanitarian giver, but now you are looking at developing Africa.
Mutual beneficial cooperation.
And in that way, there's going to be security.
Well, thank you so much. We wish you good luck and thanks for joining IDD Talks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.